has officially cut ties with Meghan Markle's polarizing lifestyle brand as ever. But there's no other way to spin it, is there? She and Harry have been a massive disappointment for Netflix.
And what does Meghan Markle do? Surprise, I'm releasing a new product and as ever. I mean, they are so predictable in this sense.
It's either bad news or Catherine is doing something,
Yeah.
so I've got to get the spotlight back.
But I will tell you that lots of Australian viewers of the Mark Dolan show don't want to see Harry and Meghan. The reason why it went down well in 2018, Paul, is because the Australian public didn't know Meghan Markle very well. Well, they know her now. And what do they know her to be? A gold-digging grifter.
Things were supposed to be calm and low-key, but instead, this whole situation is turning loud, real fast. Prince Harry and Meghan are reportedly getting ready for a trip to Australia, yet the reaction coming out of the country is anything but welcoming. What was meant to be a smooth visit is now surrounded by tension, questions, and a whole lot of pushback. Across Australia, conversations are heating up. There are petitions floating around, stacking up thousands of signatures, with people making it clear they don't want public funds tied to this visit. That alone is raising eyebrows because it shows just how divided the reaction is. What should have been a simple trip is now starting to look complicated, and some are even wondering if plans might get delayed or quietly adjusted. Now, stepping back for a second, why are Harry and Meghan even heading to Australia right now? That's where things start getting interesting. From the outside, it looks like timing is playing a big role. Some of their recent media moves haven't been making the same noise as before, and a few projects didn't last as long as expected.
Because Netflix was holding her back and she wants to push forward. Well, what better way to do that than to go to these countries and sort of test run how the business could go if they expand into Australia. I think nothing has been confirmed, but certainly it feels like that's the mood music. So there is that aspect of it where they want to come here and I guess just sort of launch this new phase of their career. But at the same time, it will, of course, invite comparisons to that.
Meghan's podcast wrapped up quicker than many thought, and her lifestyle brand hasn't exactly taken over the space the way people predicted. Even their big partnerships have shifted, and that's where speculation starts building. From a commentary point of view, it feels like this trip could be about staying visible and keeping their names in conversations. Not confirmed, of course, but when you line up the timing, it definitely gets people talking. Officially, the visit is being framed as private business mixed with philanthropic efforts. That sounds polished and professional on the surface. But at the same time, there are plenty of voices suggesting there might be more going on behind the scenes. Some believe the trip is also about reconnecting with an audience that once showed them a lot of support. And here's where things take an even more unexpected turn. The spotlight for this trip isn't even fully on Harry. It's mostly shifting toward Meghan. Reports suggest she's planning a women-focused event, something like an exclusive gathering where attendees can interact with her directly. Now, this is where reactions really start to split, because for this event, tickets are rumored to be priced at around £1,400. That's not a casual meetup. That's a premium experience.
Harry and Meghan are heading to Australia. Meghan's going to be a guest at a women's-only weekend event, and it's going to cost £1,700 for the 3-day weekend. Tell me what we could have got, Lizzie.
You can get a gala dinner, 2 nights accommodation, a question and answer session with Meghan, meditation, yoga, and a sound healing experience.
The idea is that attendees would get a chance to speak with Meghan one-on-one, ask questions, and even receive personal style advice. From a commentary angle, that raises a big question. What exactly are people expecting to gain from that experience? Some see it as an opportunity for inspiration and connection. Others are looking at the price tag and wondering if it's really worth it. And when you connect all these pieces together, it starts to paint a bigger picture. A high-profile trip, exclusive events, and a lot of attention focused on rebuilding momentum. It feels strategic, even if nothing has been directly confirmed. But here's the catch. The public response in Australia isn't lining up with that plan. The growing number of petitions and online discussions is already creating pressure before the trip even begins. And because of that, it's starting to look like organizing this visit might be way harder than expected. Back in 2018, things looked very different when they visited Australia, with strong public interest and excitement. Now, the energy feels completely flipped, and that shift is exactly what's making this whole situation so unpredictable. Not too long ago, the story looked completely different, almost like a fairy tale playing out in real life. Right after their marriage, Prince Harry and Meghan touched down in Australia, and the istiqbal they got was massive. Streets in Sydney and Melbourne were packed out, with people lining up just to catch a glimpse of them. The energy was loud, positive, and full of excitement, like the country was welcoming a new chapter of the monarchy with open arms.
Prince Harry's controversial memoir is proving to be a true tell-all.
They're going to want him to deliver something that sells books and makes headlines. But I think the view from within Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace is to ride this one out, to hope that this Sussex squall kind of blows itself out once they've said their piece.
Back then, they were being talked about as the fresh face of the royal family. A modern couple bringing a different vibe, connecting with younger audiences, and stepping into the spotlight with confidence. Everywhere they went, cameras followed, crowds cheered, and the atmosphere felt electric. It was the kind of attention most public figures only dream about. But now, fast forward to today, and the mood has flipped completely. The same places that once showed overwhelming support are now reacting in a much more cautious, even skeptical way. And a lot of that shift seems to connect back to the choices made after they stepped away from royal duties. Once they moved to the United States, their focus clearly changed. Instead of traditional royal responsibilities, they leaned into building a celebrity-style presence. Big media deals, public appearances, and high-profile projects became the new direction. On paper, it looked like a smart move, but the reaction hasn't been as smooth as expected. They also sat down for major interviews that got the whole world talking. One of the biggest moments was the conversation with Oprah, which sparked intense debate everywhere. Then came documentaries that pulled back the curtain even more, followed by Harry's memoir that shared personal stories and behind-the-scenes details about royal life. From a commentary perspective, these moves definitely kept them in the spotlight, but not always in a positive way. For some people, it felt honest and revealing. For others, it crossed a line and created tension.
Hasn't Australia suffered enough? What have you done to deserve this?
I know.
I mean, I'm thinking thoughts and prayers. The couple's popularity in Australia in 2018 was the catalyst for Harry and Meghan making demands as working members of the royal family. I don't know if you know that.
Either way, the result was clear. The strong wave of goodwill they once had started to fade. And now, looking at where things stand, one thing still holds serious weight. Their royal titles. Even after stepping away from official duties, those titles remain attached to their names. And according to many observers, that's become one of the main ways they continue to stay relevant in global conversations. Because of that, this upcoming Australia trip isn't being seen the same way as before. Critics are already framing it as something very different. Instead of a genuine visit, some are calling it a branding move, a way to rebuild image, create buzz, and open new opportunities. You'll even hear people describe it as a royal-style tour without the official royal role behind it, and that label alone is stirring up even more discussion. Because if it looks like a royal visit but isn't officially one, it starts raising questions about what it really represents. Meanwhile, back in Australia, the public reaction is getting louder. A big concern being raised is whether government resources could be used in any way during the visit. And that's where the strongest pushback is happening. People are making their position clear. If this trip is truly private, then it should be handled privately from start to finish. That means no public funding, no taxpayer-supported security, and no special treatment tied to royal status. From a commentary angle, the message coming from many Australians is simple. If you step away from royal responsibilities, then the benefits that come with that role should step away too.
prayers. The couple's popularity in Australia in 2018 was the catalyst for Harry and Meghan making demands as working members of the royal family. I don't know if you know that. In trying to step out of William and Catherine's shadow, Meghan started comparing herself to Princess Diana and tried to use this trip as leverage with the late Queen.
And that belief is exactly what's driving more and more people to support petitions and speak out. Now, with all this building pressure, the situation is starting to shift beyond just public opinion. It's slowly turning into something bigger, with conversations moving into political territory as well. Now the conversation is getting even deeper, because this situation isn't just about a trip anymore. It's turning into a full-on debate about the monarchy itself, especially among different groups in Australia. On one side, you've got people aligned with Republican views questioning the whole point of this visit. From their perspective, they're asking straight up, why are Harry and Meghan coming and what exactly are they trying to achieve here? It's not even coming from a place of excitement, it's more like confusion, mixed with skepticism. Then on the other side, those who strongly support the monarchy are also speaking out, but for very different reasons. Some of them feel like Harry and Meghan already stepped away and distanced themselves from royal duties, so in their eyes, the connection to the crown is no longer the same. From that angle, whatever moves the couple makes now should be separate from the royal family entirely. And this is where things start getting messy, because both sides, even with totally different viewpoints, are landing on a similar question. What is this trip really about? There's also this growing idea being discussed that maybe this visit is an attempt to slowly reconnect with royal relevance. Not directly, not officially, but more like easing back into that space without making it obvious. A quiet return, if you will. But here's the problem with that theory. Historically, it's already been made clear that there's no middle ground when it comes to royal roles. You're either fully in or you step away completely. That's something that was strongly emphasized during the time of Queen Elizabeth II, and that stance still carries weight today. So if anyone is thinking there's a way to balance both worlds at the same time, many observers are saying that path just doesn't exist. And because of that, this whole situation is adding even more pressure and tension around how the monarchy is viewed globally.
That relationship, and I don't think Australia has any desire to see them in April.
No, it's actually interesting because a lot of Australians are monarchists. And, you know, I've been to Australia many times. I know a lot of people in Australia. And the thing that I'm hearing is that they're so fed up because Australians really don't like it when somebody thinks that they're above the regular people.
Mm-hmm. Timing is also playing a huge role here, and this is where things get even more interesting. Right now, King Charles III is dealing with health challenges while also carrying the responsibility of leading the monarchy. That alone puts the institution in a sensitive position. At the same time, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, haven't made any immediate plans to visit Australia. And because of that gap, some people are starting to speculate. From a commentary point of view, it's being suggested that Harry and Meghan might be trying to step into that space and capture attention in key Commonwealth countries while senior working royals are less visible. Not confirmed, of course, but the timing definitely has people talking. But here's the twist. That strategy, if it even exists, doesn't seem to be landing the way it might have in the past. The growing backlash, the petitions, and the public conversations are already creating resistance before anything officially begins. So instead of building momentum, it's starting to look like the opposite might be happening. The more attention this trip gets, the more questions are being raised around it. And then there's Harry himself, because according to ongoing discussion, there's still a belief that this visit could somehow shift things for him personally. Some are saying he hopes it might impress the king and show that he still has influence on the global stage. But let's be real for a second.
I've seen, what I thought was interesting was the announcement included private events. Like wouldn't we just assume that they would want privacy throughout the excursion? But don't forget, or don't think for 1 second, they won't try to make it look like an official royal engagement. They will want certain photo opportunities where there's an audience clamoring for them so that they can send those pictures to People magazine. But for the most part, I do think that it will be mostly private events and commercial ventures that they're pursuing more so than charity opportunities.
A lot of critics are calling that idea unrealistic. From their perspective, rebuilding that kind of connection would take way more than one trip, especially with everything that's already happened. At the same time, Harry and Meghan continue to describe this visit as completely private. No official royal involvement, no institutional backing, just personal and professional engagements. But that claim is exactly what's opening up another major question. Because if this is truly private, then how is everything being organized behind the scenes? Security becomes the biggest talking point here. If there's any involvement from local authorities, police, or public resources, then people are immediately asking who's paying for that. And right now, that question doesn't seem to have a clear answer, which only adds more pressure to an already tense situation. This is where things start getting really tricky, because the whole situation is sitting in a gray area that nobody seems fully comfortable with. On paper, the trip is being described as private, simple, and low-key. But once you look a little closer, the details don't feel that clear at all. That's exactly why the petitions are gaining so much traction. People across Australia are worried that even if everything is labeled as private, there could still be hidden costs that somehow land on the government later. And nobody wants to be caught off guard with expenses that weren't clearly explained from the start. From a commentary point of view, it's not even about one specific issue. It's about trust and transparency. If everything is truly private, then people expect it to be handled that way from beginning to end. No blurred lines, no quiet support behind the scenes, and definitely no unexpected bills showing up later. But here's where things get even more complicated. Even if the trip is meant to stay low profile, there's almost no chance it actually will. Media coverage is expected to be intense, with cameras following every move, every appearance, and every interaction. And once the media gets involved like that, it doesn't stay private for long. It turns into a global moment, whether planned or not. That's why some critics are already suggesting this could be part of a bigger play.
She is the daughter-in-law of King Charles, of our sovereign. She is married to King Charles's son, Prince Harry. And this tawdry event heaps embarrassment, yet more embarrassment, on our royal family, doesn't it?
It's a really good point, Kev. And, you know, we all know the Queen's dying wish was to not have them do this pseudo-royal...
There's talk that they might be trying to recreate the energy from their 2018 visit. Back then, crowds were huge, the istiqbal was loud, and the attention was non-stop. If anything close to that happens again, this trip could quickly shift from a quiet visit into a full-blown international spectacle. And let's be honest, that kind of spotlight would bring massive visibility. From a commentary angle, some believe that's exactly the point. A big moment, global headlines, and a chance to rebuild momentum in front of millions of people. But not everyone is buying into that idea, because the current mood feels very different compared to 2018. Instead of excitement building naturally, there's already resistance forming before anything even begins. Meanwhile, the royal family itself hasn't made any public statements about all of this. No official reactions, no direct comments, just silence. But behind the scenes, there's a strong belief that they're watching everything very closely. From what's being discussed, this silence might not be random at all.
And what does Meghan Markle do? Surprise! I'm releasing a new product, and as ever, I mean, they are so predictable in this sense.
It's either bad news or Catherine is doing something, so I've got to get the spotlight back.
It could actually be a calculated move. By stepping back and not getting involved, it leaves Harry and Meghan to handle the situation on their own without any royal backing. That approach sends a quiet message. If you choose your own path, then you also face the reactions that come with it. No support, no vmешательство, just letting events play out naturally. And now, this Australia visit is turning into something much bigger than just a trip. It's starting to look like a real test, a moment that could show whether Harry and Meghan still have strong public support or if that connection has faded over time. The possible outcomes are very clear, and they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. On one side, they could win back attention, shift the narrative, and rebuild part of their image. A strong turnout, positive reactions, and good press could change everything quickly. But on the other side, things could go the complete opposite direction. Negative reactions, public criticism, intense media coverage, and moments that damage their image even further. And once that kind of narrative takes hold, it's not easy to shake off. At the end of the day, this situation goes beyond just Harry and Meghan. It reflects a bigger shift in how people are looking at public figures connected to the monarchy. There's less automatic admiration now, and more demand for accountability, clarity, and fairness. What used to be one of their strongest stages, Australia, a place that once welcomed them with open arms, is now shaping up to be their biggest challenge yet.
As of late 2025, Harry and Meghan's popularity in Australia is at an all-time low. Following a consistent downward trend over the years, polling indicates they're among the least popular members of the royal family.
And with the petitions already influencing the conversation, it really does feel like they're stepping into a storm with very little room for error. And just like that, what was supposed to be a smooth visit has turned into a full-blown situation everyone's watching closely. The Australia trip is already surrounded by tension, petitions are picking up speed, and the pressure is building before anything even officially kicks off. From a commentary angle, this isn't just about one trip anymore. It's about public perception, timing, and whether Harry and Meghan can actually shift the narrative back in their favor. Right now, everything is up in the air, and the reaction from Australia could decide how this all plays out. Now, I want to hear what you think. Is this still a smart move, or is it already heading in the wrong direction? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you're into real-time celebrity drama like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And tap on the next video you see on your screen right now, because there's even more stories getting wild. See you in the next one.